Yes, Mataji, you can see.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Click. Yes.
Okay. So this is chapter 21, Madhya Leela. Krishna's sweetness. Actually, we saw earlier before the session Krishna's opulence. Now Mahaprabhu is describing Krishna's sweetness to Sri Sanatana Goswami. So before we begin, we'll offer the prayers. Maybe a quick Radha Madhava. I'll just Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Shodandana Abrajadana Yamuna Tira Vandachari Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Punjabi Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Madhava Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Shri Radha Madhava Ashta Sakhi Vrinda ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Reading from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 21, verse 99 onwards. So we will read this verse. Verse 21, 99. ऐश्वर्य कहिते प्रभुरा कृष्ण स्फूर्ति हैला माधुर्य मजिला मना एक श्लोका पढ़िला. Before that, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are reading Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 2199. Aishwarya kahite prabhura, Krishna spoti hela, madhurye majila mana, eka shloka padila. Aishwarya kahita prabhura, Krishna spoti hela, madhurye majila mana, eka shloka padila. Aishwarya kahite prabhura, Krishna spoti hela, madhurye majila mana, eka shloka padila. Many different tunes can be read. Anyone would like to read it? Anyone?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Jai, Jyoti Mataji, yes, please.
Aishwarya kahite prabhura, Krishna spurti haila, madhurye majila mana, eka shloka padila.
Jai, nice Mataji. Anyone else? Two more devotees.
I can try, Mataji.
Yes, Kusum Mataji, yes.
Aishwarya kahita prabhura, Krishna spurte haila, madhurya majila mana, eka shloka.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Katrina Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Kahite prabhura Krishna spurti haila, madhurya majila mana, eka shloka padila.
Fantastic. That's the right tune. Could you please once more read it? Katrina Mataji, please once more read it.
Aishwarya kahite prabhura Krishna spurti haila, madhurya majila mana, eka shloka padila.
So sweet. Very nice. Thank you. Aishwarya kahite. While describing the opulence, Prabhu of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna Spurti, awakening of love of Krishna. Haila there was. Madhurya, in the sweetness of conjugal love. Majila Mana, the mind became immersed. Eka 1, Shloka verse, Padila recited. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was describing the opulences and spiritual potencies of Krishna in this way, there was an awakening of love of Krishna within him. His mind became immersed in the sweetness of conjugal love, and he quoted the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, there are two parts of Krishna's glorification by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the first part of the glorification was about Krishna's opulence, how Krishna is so great, what opulences he possesses. So that was the first part. And the second part is about his sweetness, the sweet qualities what he possesses. So when Mahaprabhu was describing the opulence, when he completed finishing all those opulence, Mahaprabhu was immersed, completely got absorbed in that, his mind got absorbed in that mood of Madhurya Rasa. So then he quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam to Sanatana Goswami. What is that verse? Let's see. Yeah. So in that he says that, that will come a little later. Yeah. So then he quotes a verse, and in that he mentions that Krishna, to exhibit the strength of his spiritual potency, Krishna, he manifested a form suitable for his pastime in the material world. This form is wonderful even for him and was a supreme abode of the wealth of good fortune. His limbs were so beautiful that they increased the beauty of the ornaments worn on different parts of the body. So actually, the Lord's beauty, so now in this particular session, in this part of glorification of Krishna, Mahaprabhu is glorifying Krishna's beauty, the beautiful form, his face, is different limbs of the Krishna's transcendental body. So very sweet. We will see that here. So Krishna is in this material world, when Krishna wants to perform different pastimes, he comes in different forms, as we all know, like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana. Like he can take any form he likes. So he comes as a tortoise, he comes as, the boar incarnation. We see the half man, half lion as Narahari, Narasimha, and then different forms. The Lord comes, to, he's descending in this material world to deliver all the fallen conditioned souls. And as he promises in the Gita that, to establish dharma, to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the devotees. So here we see the form of Krishna is so wonderful of all the forms, because it's a very special human form. He is coming. It's a human-like form. So he chose Nara Rupa. And in this form, the Lord is, performing all his pastimes. And what was the, thing, the Vesha he took? He took the form of a cowherd boy, Gopa Vesha. So Krishna took the form of a Gopa with flute. We can see in this picture also, he has a flute in his hand, young, and he's an expert dancer. Krishna is called Natabara. That means a dancer. There is a famous song also. We see that, Yashamati Nandanam Rajabara Nagara Gokularan Janakana. That one, how Krishna's all sweetness is described in that song. In that one line comes, Shirada Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Bhakti Vinodashraya. Shirada Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Bhakti Vinodashraya. Vrindavana Natabara, the great dancer of Vrindavan. So Krishna is known for his wonderful dance. So there is a beautiful pastime also in Vrindavan. We see that, once when Radharani, Srimati Radharani was, was in Man. Man means she's angry. It's transcendental anger. She was angry with Krishna, and she was kind of, so that mood, Krishna somehow wanted to, make Radharani, smile. So what did he do? Radharani was looking at the peacocks, and the peacocks were so beautifully dancing. So Krishna was watching Radharani, absorbed in the dance of the peacocks. So then Krishna started to dance. And then Krishna asked Radharani, so how was my dance? Radharani said, yes, you danced well, but the peacocks danced better. So then Krishna, started dancing even more gracefully and sweetly. So then he asked, how was my dance? And Radharani said, yes, it was wonderful, but the peacocks were more wonderful. And then Krishna really started dancing, and Radharani couldn't just control her emotions, because Krishna really dancing means you understand how beautiful it would be. So Radharani was completely absorbed, and her form changed into a female form, a peacock, and then she started dancing. So Krishna and Radharani dancing as peacocks. Very beautiful temple in Vrindavan, which is called Mayur Kutir, where you have this beautiful painting, Krishna and Radharani dancing as peacocks. And that was actually drawn by a person who was blind, but he was so absorbed in that mood that he could draw by them, Krishna's mercy. He could draw without even having the eyesight. And this is a very beautiful pastime, that how Krishna's dance attracted Srimati Radharani, that immediately her form changed to dance along with Krishna. So that's why Krishna is such an expert dancer, Vrindavan and Natabara, the great dancer of Vrindavan. So then Krishna's Rupa is so sweet, Madhuram. So many songs we say, Adaram Madhuram, Badanam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram, Hasitam Madhuram, Hridayam Madhuram, Gamanam Madhuram, Madhurati Patera Kila Madhuram. Everything about Krishna is very sweet. Even a fraction of that can merge all the three worlds in an ocean of love. And not only it attracts the human beings, attracts everyone. We can see in the picture also, Krishna cows, the peacocks, all the animals. When Krishna was in Vrindavan, even the trees, the plant, the creepers, everything, the water, the rivers, stunned, looking at the beauty of Krishna. They were drinking the nectar of Krishna's beauty. That is Krishna's beautiful form. Nara Rupa, but such a beautiful form. Okay, so then Krishna is, as we all know, he's called Madana Mohana. Madan means Cupid. And Cupid is someone who attracts everybody, right? Even in this material world, you see, especially in Kali Yuga, people can't withstand the power of Cupid. And even great personalities, great Rishi Munis, who has performed a lot of austerities in their life, who has got great sense control, they couldn't stand in front of Cupid, right? When Cupid is sending his arrows, they say Cupid has got 5 arrows. That 5 arrows represents, form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. That means in any of this form, the Cupid would send an arrow and the other person is finished. Like we see, Vishwamitra Muni was such a great ascetic, right? Performed meditation for so many thousands of years. But just the Menaka, the celestial women, the celestial dancer, she just danced and her ankle bells, only he heard the ankle bells of the celestial dancer Menaka finished. What happened? Vishwamitra Muni's all meditation got disturbed, and then he got into the material life. That's the power of Cupid. Many people who boast themselves as great sense controllers can't withstand the power of Cupid, because Cupid arrow is very powerful, and Cupid as a personality is very he has this thing to charm everyone. But Krishna, what is that he said? Krishna has become, Krishna conquers that Cupid. He's the attractor of the Cupid. Madana Mohana. So Madana is Cupid, Madana Mohana is one who conquers the Cupid by his beauty. So that is Krishna. So that is why there is a beautiful Madan Mohan temple which was established by Sanatana Goswami. That's there in Vrindavan. Very beautiful this thing. So if we want to escape the arrow of Cupid, then one has to take shelter of Krishna. If one takes shelter of Krishna's beauty, one gets attracted to Krishna's beauty, then they will not get attracted to anything else in this world. But if someone has not got attracted to Krishna's beauty, then what happens? Then they get illusioned by the worldly beauty, fall down, and then they realize, like Saubhari Muni. Saubhari Muni also for many years, he performed meditation underwater. It is very difficult to perform meditation on the ground only. What is be underwater to do a meditation? He was such a powerful personality. He had the potency to be underwater and perform such austerities. But he just saw 2 fishes coming together, and that's it. His mind got disturbed. And then he came and he married so many women, so many princes. And then later he realized, oh, what a great mistake I have done. So that's the power of Cupid. So if someone gets absorbed, attracted to the beauty of Krishna, Madana Mohana, then Madana can't do anything, because it's a higher bliss and a higher attraction. And then the lower attraction goes off. As Krishna says, Parandrishva Nivartate. If you develop a higher taste, lower taste automatically goes. We don't have to struggle to give up the lower taste. Many times we struggle to deal with our senses. and we try how not to, give up some addictions. It is very difficult. That process is very difficult. But if we develop a higher addiction of, getting attracted to Krishna's beauty or serving Krishna, and, in serving his devotees or being in the association of his devotees, when a higher taste comes, then automatically all the unwanted lower taste will naturally get it will naturally disappear. So that is the shortcut to develop a higher taste. So we see here Krishna is so beautiful that he attracts even the Cupid. What to speak about the devotees? They are so attracted, especially the topmost devotees, gopis. They are completely absorbed in thinking of Krishna all the time. So that is Krishna's beauty. And we see here, it is very nicely mentioned here, all the things which Krishna is wearing, how it looks like. Krishna's pearl necklace. Krishna wears the pearl necklace, and it looks like a chain of white ducks around his neck. And he always holds a peacock feather, which is like a rainbow, right? It has the different colors. And Krishna always wears the pitambara, the yellow garments. And that's like a lightning in the sky. And Krishna's body is a fresh rain cloud, a newly risen cloud. There is a very beautiful song also. What is that? In the morning they sing Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesha. In that also, Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Se Bihari. Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Se Bihari. Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara. Your Rupa is so attractive to the mind. How it looks like fresh rain cloud. So beautiful you are, like a fresh rain cloud. So Krishna's bodily luster, bodily color, it's like a fresh rain cloud, which is about the cloud which is about to pour rain. So that's what is compared, and the gopis are compared to the newly grown grains in the field. So Krishna is like a cloud, and the gopis are compared to the newly grown grains in the field. And what is it rain? The nectarian pastimes of Krishna, or the constant rains. That means what? The gopis are receiving the beams of life from Krishna. That means Krishna is a cloud, and the nectarian pastimes of Krishna are the constant rains, and that is actually nourishing the grains in the field, which are compared to the gopis. Amazing, isn't it? We see that not only the gopis, of course, the gopis are, their position are very exalted, but even the conditioned soul, when they keep hearing Krishna's pastimes, when it keeps entering our ears, when we keep on hearing, our heart also gets nourished completely. We get completely nourished. All the unwanted disturbances in the heart goes off, and it actually comforts and soothes our heart. That's the power of Krishna's beautiful pastimes. That's why Srila Prabhupada mentioned that every night before we go to bed, we should read Krishna book, because Krishna book is all of Krishna's pastimes. Whole day we would have gone doing so many different things. So for example, people who are working right from the morning till evening, lot of targets and this and that, and like some, a lot of meetings. Sometimes it could be very pleasant, sometimes not pleasant, and different kinds of works. People may be working from home, going out, or whatever, different kinds of professions. Even the students, maybe a hard day studying this and that. So many impressions we are carrying the whole day, right from the moment we rise from the bed till we go to the bed. Whole day we're seeing so many faces, so many subjects, so many desires, so many thoughts, right? Just one day if we analyze, so many things are happening. And the end of the day, when we go to the bed, sometimes maybe so many impressions that the whole day, whatever impressions imprinted on the mind, it keeps coming again and again. And sometimes it may disturb our sleep also. And with that kind of a mind, we can't even sleep properly. But when we read Krishna book, it erases all the unwanted impressions that we had on that whole day, which were not pleasant. Just reading it gives us such a hope, such a joy, such a, comfort feeling, such a confidence, such a, bliss, so much of, confidence in life. So many things comes up, so with that jolly, happy mood, when we go to sleep, Prabhupada says, you may see Krishna in the dream, so that's the power of hearing Krishna's pastimes. The conditioned soul's heart is so much afflicted with this material anxieties, like a soothing balm, you put to, it cools all that, pain. Similarly, Krishna's pastimes are so powerful and so wonderful and so amazing and sweet. So this is Krishna's bodily beauty described and compared, here. So let's see. So nicely here, because you will have some questions at the end to answer. Yes. Okay. So Lord Shri Chaitanya's existence. So Mahaprabhu is actually explaining all this. He's describing the beauty of Krishna to Sanatana Goswami. And then it is mentioned here, just as the women of Mathura. In Mathura, what happened when Krishna and Balaram, they were coming actually from Vrindavan to Mathura, right? To participate in the wrestling match arranged by Kamsa. So that time, they were actually going around the city, Krishna and Balaram. So that time, everyone is watching, who are these two beautiful looking young boys? So they were like stuck looking at his beauty. So especially the women of Mathura, they were talking among themselves. And, they were talking about the gopis of Vrindavan. Oh, this Krishna and Balaram, how fortunate are the gopis? What kind of a transcendental austerities they have done that, they could always see, Krishna, so just as the women of Mathura statically describe the fortune of the gopis of Vrindavan and the transcendental qualities of Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the different mellows of Krishna and became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Grasping the hand of Sanatana Goswami, he recited the following verse. So the women of Mathura were completely, overwhelmed, and they were just, kind of glorifying the gopis. Wow. Every single day they are drinking the nectar of Krishna's beauty. How fortunate are these gopis? We could only see Krishna for some time. And so like that, they were, overwhelmed, and they were describing in great ecstasy. And similarly, we see here Mahaprabhu, great ecstasy. He's Krishna himself, but in the mood of Radharani. And Radharani, you just imagine the heart of Radharani is Krishna. So imagine how much of ecstasy he would have felt describing the sweetness of Krishna. So that's what is mentioned here. So the gopis, fortunate of seeing Krishna's form. What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes, they always drink the nectar of the form of Lord Krishna, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. Krishna's, beauty no one can equal Krishna's beauty. And the Krishna's that beauty, that loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self-perfect, ever fresh and unique. So Krishna says, one may see a form for some time, then after that we get bored. I have to look at the same person for so long. You see that when someone gets married also, that time, the wife looks very beautiful for the husband. Husband may look very handsome for the wife. How long? After some time, that disappears, fades off. But Krishna, even though every time when someone looks at Krishna's beauty, it looks new and new and new. Nava Yauvana Krishna is always here, freshness. That is Krishna's beauty, ever fresh. That's what is mentioned here. So, very sweet here. Krishna's eternal youth is an ocean of nectar. Essence of his body beauty is like a wave. And the emotions which is erupting, that is compared to a whirlpool. And when Krishna is playing his flute, that is compared to a whirlwind. And when Krishna plays the flute, what happens when the flute is played? The flickering minds of the gopis are compared to straw and dry leaves. So after they fall down in the whirlwind, they never rise again, but remain eternally at Krishna's lotus feet. So you see that a whirlwind comes, everything there, just gets, disappeared, right? Similarly, falls off. Similarly, all the dry leaves and everything, when a wind comes, everything falls from the tree. Similarly, when Krishna plays a flute, then what happens? That's it. The gopis, whatever work they are doing, they just drop it and then they run, to see Krishna. That's the power of Krishna's flute. So that's mentioned here. And then we see, so what they are now saying, all the people, the men and women of Vraja, the residents of Vrindavan, they are condemning Brahmaji, the Lord, the Creator. Why did you, give such an eye? Eyes are good, but why the eyelids? The eyelids are stopping us from seeing Krishna. And the power of their love, that not even for a moment they want to, miss seeing Krishna. Because when the eyelids closes for a second, you can't see the form of the Lord, right? So they're saying Lord Krishna's beautiful face, which is, is adorned with the shark-shaped earrings, which is swinging on his ears. Can anyone remember this word? Somewhere in some song, this thing comes. Shark-shaped earrings swinging on his ears. Very famous.
Namamishwaram.
Nice. Yes, Namamishwaram, isn't it? So, Namamishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Lasat Kundalam, the shark-shaped earrings. So, Krishna's face is adorned with the shark-shaped earrings swinging on his ears. And it's a beautiful hasitam, smile. So with this beautiful form of Krishna, we want to all the time drink that beauty. But, Brahmaji has don't know how to actually create the eyes, and he has given this eyelids, which is closing and disturbing us from seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. So the gopis are, saying, "Oh Krishna, when you go to forest during the day, half a second becomes as long as an entire age for us, not seen. Your sweet face surrounded by beautiful curly hair. And we consider the Creator who has put eyelids to be simply a fool." So that is the love the gopis have for Krishna. Half a second becomes as long as an entire age. Can you recall somewhere, again, this kind of a separation is mentioned in one of the very famous verses? Anyone remembers?
Yes, Mataji, when Akrura takes Krishna to Vrindavan, from Vrindavan to Mathura, Mataji.
Yes, that is true, Prabhu. I'm talking about a verse. A verse means it's maybe a song, not necessarily a song. It's a verse, very, very famous, which we, in fact, every single day read, where we can see the separation of the Lord is mentioned. Separation of the Lord.
Sikshashtakam.
Yes, Sikshashtakam. Got it, Vijay Prabhu. Where is that coming, the verse? Yugaitam
Nimishena Chakshusha
Pravrishaitam Sunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. What is the mean? What is the translation of that?
1 second of separation is like 1 yuga.
12 years or more, right? Yes, yeah. So this is the mood. This is the love these devotees have for Krishna. That even a little separation is unbearable. So they are condemning and criticizing the creator of eyelids, the Brahmaji, and they're saying he is simply a fool. And you know, Krishna's bodily limbs, they are compared to Kama Gayatri. Krishna's bodily beauty is compared to Kama Gayatri, which is a Vedic hymn, you know, and this Vedic Kama Gayatri has got 24.5 syllables. And that is compared to the different limbs of Krishna's body, compared to moon. So Krishna's face is compared to one moon, and his two beautiful cheeks are compared to 2 full moons. And Krishna's forehead is a half a moon. Actually, 1 moon is missing here. That is Krishna's, you know, Krishna, there is a sandalwood pulp kept on the forehead of Krishna. That is compared as 1 moon. So only people who listen would be able to answer this question later. Yeah. So face of Krishna is compared to 1 moon. 2 cheeks are compared to 2 full moons. So 3 moons we finished. Forehead is half a moon, 3.5. And I said the sandalwood, you know, kept on his sandalwood, which is kept on his forehead, is compared to 1 full moon. So 4.5. Then his fingernails, both the fingernails, there is 10. So 10 full moons. Okay. And toenails again 10. So 20, 24.5. So that is compared. So Krishna's bodily beauty, the bodily limbs, they are compared to the 2 different moons and compared to this Vedic hymn called Kama Gayatri. So, and this is so sweet that, you know, everything about Krishna is sweet, but there is also, even among that sweetness, sweet, very sweet, and extraordinarily sweet. So what is sweet? Krishna's body is very sweet. It's compared to an ocean. Madhura. Mathura. Mathura means, I mean, Adaram, Maduram. So it is Madhuram or Madhurya, Maduram. Krishna's face, okay, body is Madhuram. Face is Sumadhuram. That means very sweet. So Krishna's body is ocean means the face is considered as a moon above the ocean. Now Krishna's smile. Krishna's smile is, okay, Madhuram, Sumadhuram, and Adi Mathuram. Adi Mathura means extraordinarily beautiful or extraordinarily sweet. That is Krishna's smile. So body, Krishna's body is sweet, Mathura. Krishna's face is Sumadhura, and Krishna's smile is Ati Mathura. And the smile is compared to beams of moonlight, because face is like a moon, and the moon rays which is coming, that is a smile. It's coming to the moon beams, or the rays of moon is compared to Krishna's smile. So wonderful, isn't it? So Krishna's body is very sweet. His face is even sweeter. A soft smile with fragrance of honey is still sweeter. Hasitam Madhuram. So Krishna's flute sound, it is mentioned that the slight smiling and fragrant illumination are compared to camphor, which enters the sweetness of his lips. The sweetness is transformed and enters into space as vibration from the holes of his flute. So the sound of Krishna's flute spreads in 4 directions. Even though Krishna vibrates his flute within this universe, its sound pierces the universal covering and goes to the spiritual sky. Thus, the vibration enters the ears of all the inhabitants, especially enters Goloka Vrindavan, and attracts the minds of the young damsels of Rajabhumi, bringing them forcibly to where Krishna is present. So Krishna's flute, actually, that itself should be given a class, because Krishna has got different kinds of flute. And Krishna's even in different kinds of flute for different purpose. And also even the flute, he has different notes. Certain notes when he plays in the flute, the cows knows that Krishna is calling me. And when certain note Krishna is, playing in the flute, playing on his flute, then the gopis would know that Krishna is calling us. So like that, the different notes in Krishna's flute, people, the different personalities, they know whom Krishna is calling them. So it is so Krishna's flute itself, and Krishna's flute is, people say that the gopis were telling Krishna that, oh, this flute is so. The dams, the women in Mathura said gopis are very fortunate, and the gopis are telling the flute is very fortunate because Krishna's lips are always touching Krishna's flute, and it is always with Krishna. Krishna always carries the flute with him. So that means the flute is getting so much association of Krishna 24/7, but we are not getting Krishna's association. So the gopis are praising Krishna's flute. So what are the different flutes of Krishna? Can anyone recollect? What are the different names of Krishna's flute? Krishna's flute, what are the different names? Okay, one clue is Venu. Venu is one of the Krishna's flute. A name is called Venu. That's why he's called Venu Gopal, right? So like that, what are the other names Krishna's got for having flute? Any other name? Flute.
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 Murali Mataji.
Yes, Murali. Yes, very good. Murali, Krishna's flute. Then one more.
Vamsi.
Vamsi. Very nice. Yeah. Vamsi, Venu, Murali. Very nice. Okay. Okay. Resuming his external consciousness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, I have not spoken of what I intended. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Sanatana Goswami, I really did not speak what I actually want to speak. Because he says, Krishna is very merciful to you because by bewildering my mind, he has revealed his personal opulences and sweetness. So Mahaprabhu is telling, actually, Krishna has bewildered my mind, that I have revealed all this to you. He has caused you to hear all these things from me for your understanding. Since I have become a madman, I am saying one thing instead of another. This is because I am being carried away by the waves of the nectarian ocean of Lord Krishna's transcendental sweetness. So, and Mahaprabhu is telling the Falashruti, if someone is, whoever devotees have heard this today, this particular, part, sweetness of Krishna, if anyone gets an opportunity to hear about the sweetness of Krishna in this chapter of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he will certainly be eligible to float in the transcendentally blissful ocean of love of God. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning in the Chaitanya Charitamrita the Falashruti. Falashruti means the result of hearing this particular pastime. So whether knowingly, unknowingly, or whatever way, if you have listened to this pastime, what is the blessing you are getting? It is mentioned that he will certainly be eligible to float in the transcendently blissful ocean of love of God. What a blessing it is. So that is why, if you see all of our, itihasas, our, Puranas and very important scriptures like Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read, when we hear, we get a lot of benedictions. It does so many things. Of course, it purifies our heart. It gives us joy. It removes all our anxiety. It frees us from ignorance. Many things we can say. At the same time, loads and loads of benediction of developing a higher taste and getting the Krishna's causeless mercy, developing, awakening that, love for Krishna. All these blessings, we are actually kind of accumulating these benedictions, which is a very, very wonderful thing. This is a way we actually, our heart can actually one day reawaken our lost relationship with Krishna. So that's why it's so important for us to hear these pastimes again and again and again. So it's very, very nice Falashruti. We can actually describe in detail, but just the time we have just at least saw a glimpse of all this, what Mahaprabhu has narrated to Sanatana Goswami. So now we will see go to the next part, which is a quiz. So I request Prabhu, you are there, Anjani Mai Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, I'm here.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah.
is it okay, Mataji, if you can share the screen and I'll continue from there only?
Oh, okay, no problem. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So yeah, question 1 starts from here. So the question 1 is like Krishna's beauty is compared with dash Vedic hymns, Rigved, Brahma Gayatri, Kama Gayatri, Yajur Ved. Mataji explained nicely during the class. So the correct answer is C, Kama Gayatri, and the devotees have given the answers are first name is Gaya Prabhu, second
Gaya
is
Mataji.
Gaya Mataji, I'm sorry. Gaya Mataji, second is Anuradha Achut Priya Mataji, and third is Shruti Mataji, Hari Bol. Thank you. We'll go to the question number 2, it starts from here. How many moons are identified in Krishna's body in regards to a comparison of Vedic hymns? 23, 24, 23 and a half, 24 and a half. Just wait for one more second and I'll just go ahead. Looks like most of devotee had got the correct answer. So yeah, it's a 24 and a half. And the devotees who have given the correct answer start from Anuradha Mataji, then Karthik Prabhu and Shruti Mataji. And I'm go for question number 3, start from here. When compared to the sweetness of Krishna's body, face, and smile, what is considered Adi Madhu or extraordinary sweet? So Mataji explained like body, face, and smile. So here, like, what has been compared with that? So Mataji, shall we take smile as a, or like what do you say?
Smile.
What has been, huh?
Smile.
Correct, because in answer also it mentions, so I
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
yeah. So the correct answer is a smile, and the devotees have given Pani Prabhu, Yamini Mataji, and Shruti Mataji.
Sure.
Very good. Now question 4, start from here. Whom did the Mathura woman praised for drinking the nectar of Krishna's form? Yes, so Mataji are explaining the class like when Krishna and Balram goes to Mathura and Mathura's woman sees. So the correct answer is Gopis, right? And the devotees who have given the correct answer, Anuradha Mataji, Shruti Mataji, and Gaya Mataji, Hari Bol. And the last question, question number 5, start from here. And what reason the men and women of Vrija became angry at the creator? What was the reason behind that? Jai Hari Bol. Today, most of the devotees are given them almost all the correct answers for all 5 questions. So the correct answer is, yeah, creating the eyelid, because blocking them to see the beauty of Krishna for some moment. So the correct answer given by the devotees are Anuradha Mataji, Gaya Mataji, and Karthik Prabhu. Hari Bol. Thank you so much, thank you devotees for participation. Mataji, yes, we can go ahead for the next slide. We have some announcement. Meanwhile, we have key points, yes. So yeah, as every time we does, like we from the class, we'll try to take some takeaways, what we have learned from the class, what inspired us most from the class, what we are going to follow from the class, from the qualities and pastime from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna Leela. In some words, maybe like 2 to 5 words or If devotee can express and would like to share, we can take some takeaway points and we can go ahead for further. I'll just wait for 1 minute and yeah. Yeah, so Samila Mataji and family has replied eyelids. So a very wonderful pastime came, like how they can't even wait for a moment, just fraction of second they feel lot of separation from the Krishna. So gopis are, criticizing Brahma to why they have made this eyelid which are blocking us every time. It's very wonderful past point, Mataji. Hari Bol. Any other devotee would like to share? So many pastime. Even we can from questions we can recall whole session. How the questions can recall from first slide to 16th slide. So Kartikeyan Ujjain Prabhu has mentioned the deep, deep ocean of love for Krishna. Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu, for putting your takeaway. Hare Krishna. Suti Mataji has mentioned like 24.5 moon is so amazing. So we understand the analogy how like whole face is and whole body, if I say, has different moons. So Mataji started from forehead till whole form. So it was so wonderful. Thank you, Shruti Mataji, for putting here. Kushum Mataji has mentioned, read Krishna book every night before going to bed. Jai Haribol. Practical, very practical point Mataji has mentioned. Katrina Mataji has mentioned, not this body, but not a Prabhu. Not this body, but not a Prabhu. Maybe Mataji can tell, I didn't get exactly. Maladharni Mataji has mentioned 5 arrows of Cupid. By taking shelter of Krishna, we can overcome. Jai Haribol. Very nice point, Mataji. Thank you for putting here. Shudhishna Mataji has mentioned, I feel like drawing in material word today's session revealed me from it. Thank you so much for the session. Thank you so much, Mataji, for hearing whole class and putting your wonderful point here. It will help other devotees to bring some takeaway from the class. Jai. Kartik Prabhu has mentioned, one who hears this pastime of Krishna and his sweetness will float in the ocean of love of Krishna. Jai. You got the final Falashruti, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Satya Mataji has mentioned Krishna's Venu is more graceful, Jai Jai, because Krishna keeps Venu all the time in his near to the lips, so devotees glorify the Bansi, Murli, and Venu. Wonderful. We'll go for last. Anuradha Mataji has mentioned Falasruti. It is nectarian to hear the opulence of Krishna. Jai. Thank you so much, devotees, for putting the wonderful points and bringing at one place. We'll go ahead for an announcement for the next slide. Mataji, could you please just refresh? Maybe like it didn't reflect it.
Sorry. Sorry. Just give me a second. Oh. One minute, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Anjani Prabhu. I'll share the screen now, Prabhu. I can share now.
So we have very wonderful.
Can you make me the host as well? Co-host?
Oh, yeah, host is Krupasindhu Prabhu. Krupasindhu Prabhu, can you make host to?
So if time is going, I can just verbally announce, man. Meanwhile, they are reading with the PPT. So Wednesday, we have wonderful disappearance of Sri Abhiram Thakur. And Friday, 14th of April, we have Tulsi Jal Dan begins. Saturday, we have disappearance of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. May I know, like, okay. And Sunday, we have Varudhini Ekadashi, that fasting from again. So those 4 wonderful special days like Madhav Tithi, Bhakti Janni. So we say like Madhav Tithis are, so these are Madhav Tithis, we can increase our focus on our chanting, and these Tithis are very dear to Lord, especially Ekadasi, which comes in once in a 15 days. So these 4 special days are there. And Hare Krishna, you have put in. Thank you, Prabhu, for putting here. Vinil Prabhu would like to announce the winners, and then we can go ahead the final. Maybe Vivek Prabhu, do you have any announcement for this week?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I think Vivek Prabhu is not joined today.
Okay. Prabhu is like out of his station, looks like. Yeah.
Let's join. I can say Vivek Prabhu.
So, Tirth Vilas Prabhu, do you have any announcement for this week?
Let me check with the Prabhu.
If not, maybe meanwhile we can announce. Shall we announce the winners, Prabhu? Vinil Prabhu, can you please go ahead?
Yeah.
Winners
Hi,
for the
Prabhu.
quiz.
Yeah. So thank you very much, all the devotees for participating today. And the winner for today's quiz is, in the first place, we have Anuradha Achutapriya Mataji. Second place, we have Jaya
Haribol.
Mataji. And third place, we have Shruti Mataji. Haribol.
Jai Haribol.
One can say 3 big Hari balls for them.
Hari balls.
Hari
Hari
bol.
Hari ball. Hari
bol.
ball.
Hari
Hari
bol. Very nice.
Now we'll have Jagannath Darshan. If Vivek Prabhu is here, Prabhu, can you do the announcement if you have any, or we can show Jagannath Darshan now?
Can show you
Just, I want to say one thing. Just one thing.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, it's we just made announcement of appearance days, etc. So if we have time in the morning, either ISKCON London or ISKCON Bhaktivedanta Manor, we can actually listen to the classes because they specifically mention these great souls and what we can take from their life and pastimes.
Very nice. Yeah, you mean to say about the acharyas, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Vrindavan Das Thakur is the one who wrote Chaitanya Bhagavat. So yeah, it's nice. We can hear to the classes, then we will know more about them. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Darshan, please. We'll show the Darshan. Oh, it's very nice, isn't it? It's Krishna's glory. So one of the very nice practical takeaway Kusuma Mataji gave that we can try to read the Krishna book every day. That's why Srila Prabhupada wrote a separate book, right? It is part of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. But Srila Prabhupada gave separately the Krishna book, and it has more than 50 pastimes, 90 pastimes, isn't it? Around 90.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is so wonderful if every day we could read, even for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever time possible. Children can read, adults can read, everyone can read. So before we go into bed, it's like a, bedtime story. We can read Krishna book, and whatever we now discussed, all would we can experience. It's not just a theory, but we want to experience. Then we have to hear or read those pastimes. So it will be very nice. We can try doing that. It will be very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada also. Yes. You're showing? Yes. So now we'll see Jagannath, and then. So devotees who are already fasting, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani, Sudarshan Chakra ki jai, Shri Koni Tai ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
So devotees who are already fasting on the 16th, that's great. That's Ekadasi, fasting from grains and beans. Those who are have not tried out, would be very nice. They can try. And also fasting for Ekadasi, that's very auspicious. It's not that we have to completely fast. If someone can fast, some people do Nirjal fasting. They don't even take water. That's one type of fasting. Some people take only fruits. That's also very nice. But if we can't do anything, at least we can not eat grains. Refrain from grains and beans. That would be really wonderful, because that's the day the sin personifies its on the grains. So we request everyone to try not to eat grains on the day, but it's a day, very, very special day. As Prabhu mentioned, Bhakti Janani. It's a day which gives us devotion. Madhava Tithi. That's why Ekadasi is also called Madhava Tithi. Very, very dear to Krishna. We can get thousands and thousands of times blessings, whatever we do on the day. Whether we do chanting, we do any kind of seva, that's 1,000 times, blessings. So 16th, we can mark the calendar. Yes. So, okay. Thank you so much for all joined today for this session to hear about the sweetness of Krishna. We will continue hearing. Please join and continue hearing. In that way, we can all hear together. Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are almost 21st chapter is completed today. We will be doing 22nd next week. Thank you everyone for joining. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna
Dandavat
Mataji.
Pranam. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Lovely evening.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.